Good morning, all. My name is Jeremy Nicholson. I am a sales advisor with Insurance Advisor Direct, and want to thank you for attending our webinar today with Physicians Mutual. Very excited to bring this to you as we've had some challenges in the Medicare supplement space. I unfortunately, overseeing the Medicare supplement line of products, have been the bearer of bad news to many of you over the last few months, reaching out to let you know that we've had some carriers exit the space. And as of late, I felt a little bit like the Medicare Grim Reaper. I'm sure you're all a little concerned when you see my name on the caller ID. So I promise nothing but good news, nothing but positive things out of this. And we're really excited to share this with you. Presenting today is Andrew Saul. Andrew is a regional sales director with Physicians Mutual. He's led the nation in production, recruiting, and training with physicians, all the while continuing to be the go-to for all things Medicare. Being in the industry quite a while and working with a lot of carrier reps, I have to say, and I'm not, hyping him up here, but Andrew is awesome. He's been great with everything that we've needed to bring the best to you to take care of your clients and grow your business. So we're very excited to have him on board and share with you what Physicians Mutual can bring to you and your clients. So with that being said, Andrew, the floor is yours. Oh, one more thing quickly. Any questions, anything that pops up, please do me a favor. Pop it in the chat box, and we'll do our best at the end to circle back and get that all handled for you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jeremy. And you're right. Andrew is the best. There's no doubt about it. So I'm Mike Story, National Sales Training Director. I've been at Physicians Mutual now 32 years, 37 in the business. I do this all day long, every day. A lot of times I'm on the road and I speak in front of big groups when it comes to Physicians Mutual across the country. I work hand in hand with the three regional sales directors, which Andrew is one of those. So as you see, you're getting me today instead of Andrew. So hopefully, I know those are big shoes to fill. I'll try and do my best. Let's look. We're going to mainly cover the innovative G today, but let me just share with you, in most states, you have to go to a product map to see if it's available in your states, but it is in most states. But what I will tell you is this, just some quick competitive advantages that we have at Physicians Mutual that you may not see in other carriers' portfolio, okay? Number one, we have preventative care benefits. We will cover 100% of all preventative services not covered by Medicare. So you can go to page 30 of the Medicare and You book. You can start seeing all of the preventative services from 30 to like the 51. It talks about that. We will pay for such things as physicals, full-blown physicals with labs. We'll pay for thermography exams, lifeline screenings, the Cologuard exam, full body DEXA scans, things like that, that Medicare does not pay for. And we will also pay for preventative services more frequently than what Medicare allows. What I mean by that is this: if you're have had colonoscopies and you've never had any polyps or anything wrong, everything's been clean, Medicare will only cover a colonoscopy once every 10 years. Physicians Mutual would cover it more frequently than that if you needed us to, okay? So we do. These are all preventative tests that you have done before there's any signs or symptoms of anything being wrong. Other than Wisconsin, we're the only other carrier, because the carriers in Wisconsin are mandated to have some preventative care benefits. We have unlimited there, but in almost all the other states, we're the only carrier that has the preventative care benefits. Plus, we have the Silver and Fit gym membership, okay? These two benefits together are a rider that we call the Preventative Benefits Plus rider for $9.53. There are a few states that make us included on the innovative G and the regular G, but most states, it's a rider that you need to add at issue. You cannot add it later on down the road. You can always take it away, but you cannot add it, okay? So that's a great rider, great value for $9.53 a month. Also, too, at Physicians Mutual, we have what we call the 2-year selection guarantee on our MedSup portfolio. So, for example, if we do in most states the high deductible G the innovative G, the regular plan G that most carriers have, and plan F, okay? This is our portfolio, and I'm going to cover this a little bit later too. But no matter which plan you buy initially with Physicians Mutual, we're going to give you 2 years to decide whether you want to keep that plan or not, or move to another. So it's like a 2-year free look period, okay? No other carrier is giving you a 2-year free look period. So let's say you buy the innovative in the beginning. You have 2 years to decide whether you want to keep that or move to one of these other plans if you're eligible for it, okay? Naturally, you have to be eligible for the F to buy the F. But you can move to any other plan that you are eligible for within the first 2 years. No underwriting, no questions asked, nothing. You can just do it, okay? Why do we do that? Because about 70% of people in America today going on to Medicare, their number one fear is that they're going to make the wrong decision. So we try to help them have a little bit of a peace of mind that we're going to give them 2 years to think about the decision they made versus 30 days, okay? Then we're going to talk about the patented innovative plan G. I know that's on the docket that we're going to do today. Well, a couple other things before we dive into that innovative G that's patented is the same rate age banding. So no matter whether you're 65, 66, 67, or 68 years old, no matter what age you are, when you come to Physicians Mutual, so if you're writing somebody 68 years old, we're going to give them age 65 rates. If you're 67 or 68 years old and you write them a med sup with us, they're going to get age 65 rates. We are going to turn back the clock, okay, is what we're going to do. We're going to turn back the clock to age 65, and that makes us even really, really, really competitive. So if you're comparing a 68-year-old customer or potential customer to Physicians Mutual or some other carrier, you have to use our 65-year-old rate compared to that competitor's 68-year-old rate. So that makes us super, super competitive. And another great thing about that, look at this. If you are doing that, so if you have somebody between 65 and a half and 68, we will do limited underwriting, limited. We only ask them 4 questions, and we don't even ask them anything about their drugs, okay? 4 questions, limited underwriting, age 69 and above. That's when we go to full-blown underwriting like our competitors, okay? We also allow you to write Medicare supplements 7 months in advance, okay? If a state requires that you only can do it 3 months, then you only can do it 3 months. But any state that doesn't have a strict requirement, we allow you to do 7 months. So if you want to hold up one finger, that's the month of July. Then we have August, September, October, November, December, January, and then we go 1 extra day into February. So if you have anybody that's turning 65 between now and the end of February of 26, you can write them a med sup plan with Physicians Mutual. I know if you're doing it that far in advance, you don't have their Medicare number. We understand that, okay? When you do get it, just send it to us, okay? That's all we need. We allow you to write it, and you lock in the rate. We will withdraw 1 month's premium. So if you had somebody that had a February 15th birthday, they were turning 65, their effective date is going to be February 1st. We allow you to write that now, and you lock in the rates to what they are today. Let's just say we in September decide to take a rate increase, or January, whatever it is. If you do that now, we lock in the rate that it is today. You avoid the rate increase, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. And then in most states that allow us to, we offer a 10% household discount, and that is off of the smoker rate. And why is that a big deal? Because let's pretend you had a $120 non-smoker rate and you had a smoker rate of $150. What we do is we take the 10% off of $150, and what you will see is that's $15 that we give you as a discount. And if you're a non-smoker, we take that away from the non-smoker rate, which you end up with a net rate of $105. But if you took it off the non-smoker, you only get a $12 discount versus the $15. So it ends up being a little bit more than a 10% if that's the case. Also, too, regarding this, there's two ways to get the discount, okay? There's two ways. Number one, be married. We do not care how old your spouse is, okay? We do not care. Just be married and live with your spouse, okay? That's what we do. Be married. Could be same-sex marriage, too. So married, no matter what, just kind of think about this. Married, you get it. Forget it. No other criteria other than live with your spouse. Number two, if you're not married, there's a second way that you can get it. And that is make sure that you live or somebody that lives with you is 60 years old or older at the same address. Okay? So if you have a roommate that's 60 years old or older, you can have the discount if you're not married. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean a group home. That doesn't mean assisted living or anything like that. That doesn't count. Okay? But we will do that if you have a roommate. We don't care if they're just renting a room at your house. If they're 60 and above, we'll do that. But if you're married, we do not care how old your spouse is. Okay? So that's just some of the competitive advantages that you have with the Medicare Supplement portfolio with Physicians Mutual. Now, like I said, there always are state specials, so we always have to check that when we do that. Okay? I'm going to get out of that. Let's go to this diagram. So in most states, this is our Medicare Supplement portfolio. Okay? And so you'll have to go into our product availability map in our portal and see what products are available in your particular states. And at the end, if you have some questions about particular states, I can rattle those off too. So here is our portfolio. We have the Plan F. It never went away. It's just who's eligible for it today. You have the Plan G. We all know about that. And then you have the Innovative G, which has the patent on it that's exclusive to Physicians Mutual, and the High Deductible G. Okay? The High Deductible G. So here we go. I'm not going to go over Plan G because you guys and gals all know about Plan G. But let's talk about the high deductible because there's always confusion. When you have the high deductible plan, and somebody like United American sells a lot of high deductible plan, here's the issue. You have a Part A deductible of $1,676. That's a true deductible. So if you end up in the hospital as an inpatient, you're going to pay the first $1,676. Medicare is going to take care of the rest. But whether you're in there 1 day, 5 days, 20 days, 60 days, because this is a per benefit period, you pay $1,676 no matter how many of those days you're in there, up to 60 days, right? You have the Part B deductible of $257. That's a true deductible. So anytime you have any outpatient services done, you're going to pay the first $257, and then you're going to go into 20% coinsurance, right? Medicare pays $80. You pay 20% of the Medicare approved amount, okay? And then that's on all services up to, here's the key, a max out of pocket of $2,870. So you're going to pay 20% coinsurance of the Medicare approved amount up to $2,870. But just keep in mind, the Part A deductible, if you ever end up in an inpatient, goes towards the $2,870. The $257 goes towards the $2,870, and so does the 20% coinsurance. So kind of keep that in mind. That's how the high deductible works. The $2,870 is not, I'm going to say it again, is not a deductible. It's a max out of pocket. Because if you'd never end up in the hospital, you're only going to pay $257, and then it goes into coinsurance right away. We think of $2,870, if it's a true deductible, you'd have to pay the first $2,870, and then the insurance would kick in. That's not the way the high deductible G works in our world. Okay, so we got that. Let's now talk about the Innovative G. What we did back in 2008, Physicians Mutual was granted the patent on this innovative rider. It's an innovative rider that we added to a Plan G. It's an innovative rider that we added to the Plan G. It's a hybrid of the high deductible and the regular Plan G. So for example, let's say you had the high deductible costed $50. The innovative costed you for a premium for your customers $100, and then let's say that the Plan G was $135. Okay, here's how it works. Remember, it's a hybrid of the two different plans, the high deductible and the G. So what it does is in the first 3 years, it acts as a high deductible plan. Okay, so here's how that works. Let's say you have somebody that has an October 1 effective date. That means October through December of this year, you can see this arrow. This means that they're going to have the high deductible. These are their plan benefits. They're subject to the 1676, the 257, the 20% co-insurance, and the max out-of-pocket. And then January through December, they're going to have the high deductible again. And then January through December of 27, they're going to have the high deductible again one last year. Starting on January 1st of 2028, you will no longer have the high deductible plan. It goes away. Your customer transitions to a regular G. If you want to say convert, say convert. I like to say transitions to a regular G the rest of their life. Okay, it transitions to a regular G the rest of your life. If they do this and they wait the 3 years or the 2 years and 3 months in this situation, they will save 25 to 40% the rest of their life on their Plan G versus the competition. It is the best long-term value Plan G in the marketplace today. Bar none, it is the best long-term value Plan G in the marketplace today. You're not going to beat it. That's why when people buy this plan and it transitions to the G, we have a 98% persistency over a 9-year period on this plan right here. Why? Because it's this much less expensive than all the other G's out there. But you're taking on the max out of pocket in the beginning in these first 3 years. Let's say earlier in the year, let's say you had a February effective date. Well, that means February through December, you would have had the high deductible. And then you have 2 full years of the high deductible. So just to help all of you, this first year is usually a partial year unless you have a January 1 effective date or a January effective date. Then you would have the high deductible all 3 years, okay? But if you don't, then it's a partial year. Because let's say you have a December effective date. Well, then you have the month of December and then 2 full years. So then you have the high deductible for 2 years and 1 month. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear on that. And then it transitions to a regular G the rest of your life. Now, here's the key. I'm going to give you a little snippet here. During this period, okay, at any time during this 2.1 to 3 years, and I use 2.1, meaning that, hey, your effective date's in December, all the way up to, if you had a January effective date, it's 3 full years. At any time during this period, a customer can write a letter to the company and sign it and say, remove my innovative rider, get rid of that. I want a regular G. They can do it at any time during this period, okay? At any time. But if they do not wait until January 1st of 28, then what will happen is we're going to jump their premium up to whatever a G is at that time. They will not recognize the 25 to 40% lifetime savings if they don't wait until January 1st of 2028. Now, I hear the company tells me that only happens about 1 to 2% of the time. Very rarely does it happen, okay? So that's our innovative patented plan that you're hearing a lot about in the industry right now. It's probably about 35% of all of our sales. We're ramping that up to hopefully we'll get to be 45 and 50, because, you know, that really helps with rate increases. That helps stabilize rate increases, because if you really think about it, Physicians Mutual is not really on the hook for anything until that customer hits the max out of pocket of $2,870. And that really helps, because the high deductible, the innovative G, the G, and the F are all in the same pool. So, you know, we know that the loss ratio is going to be lower on these to help with this over here, to help us have more stable rate increases and lower increases down the road than most carriers. But we're all seeing, I know, Jeremy, you alluded to it, unprecedented times in the Medicare Supplement arena. And the Medicare Advantage arena is also having issues with, you know, loss ratios and claims, and, you know, utilization is way high now, right now. So we're all seeing those type of things happening, okay? So Mike, you're saying, okay, this looks like a pretty neat concept. You know, it's been out since 2008. You know, remember, we didn't go brokerage until about 3 years ago or a little more. Here's why this ends up being a big deal. You can buy the innovative at any age that you want to. But let's take a look at a scenario that you might want to talk to your customers about. So let's say that you had a customer, his name was Sally. Sally might have had some HSA money. She has money. The $2,870 max out of pocket doesn't scare her. She's fine with that. She don't worry about her bills. She's going to buy the innovative. But then her twin sister, Mary says, you know what? I don't want to worry about that max out of pocket. I don't want to know whether I have to pay something out of my pocket or not. I just want Plan G. So let's look at this. Looks like a side-by-side comparison. And what I did was I gave each of these plans a 10% rate increase each and every year. Every year I gave this a 10%. Okay. You're going to say, Mike, that might not be enough right now. I understand that. We're seeing 15, 20s. I just heard that another carrier took 40% this morning in the state of Missouri. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is crazy what's going on. But we're seeing those things out there right now. So let's look at this. Sally's is at $100. She's turning 65, $100. And then Mary's at $135. And then the next year it's $110 because of the 10% rate increase, $148.50. 121 versus 163. Let's look what happens. Remember what I said about age 68? Well, because you took on the max out of pocket the first 3 years, right? The first 3 years, that age 65 could be a partial year. But then at age 68, it converts. It transitions to a regular G the rest of Sally's life. So Sally now has a $133 Plan G at age 68. But her sister, who took out Plan G in the beginning, is now up to $179.69. So if you look at it, Sally has saved over $1,900 in premiums the first 3 years, right, to the end of the fourth year. So she could have used these savings to help pay any money that she had out of pocket. She could do that. So you can see, look at that big difference. It's already $46 a month. Heck, at age 68, she's only paying $133. That's less than what Mary started off at. Okay, let's go to age 72. At age 72, Sally's now up to $194 for her Plan G, and her sister's already at $263 for her G. Remember, they have the same identical plans, the same plan. And now that's about $4,800 in savings. Let's go to life expectancy. Okay. Remember, they both have the exact same Plan G. That's why I'm saying Plan G equal. At age 80, Sally is at 417. Mary is at 564. If you look at this, Sally will have saved over $15,000 in premiums, over $15,000 in premiums, because she took on the max out of pocket in the first 3 years. So she had a lifetime savings of $15,180. This was her lifetime of savings. So you can see when I talk about how they're going to have a Plan G the rest of their life at about a 25 to 40% savings, compare these two. Because these will be just like, you know, Plan G of any other competitors along with us. So you can see how much that Sally will have saved over Mary over those years. Think about that. That is a huge, huge savings. And customers need it. How many of you that are on this call today have gotten calls from your customers that say, you know, Mike, or you know what, Jeremy, you know, I'm in my middle 70s now. My Plan G is very, very expensive. I can barely afford my G. Is there anything you can do? Is there anything cheaper out there? If they're unhealthy, you can't do anything unless you take them to the MA. Okay? If they're in a birthday rule state, yeah, you could help them, but it's killing carriers right now, the birthday rule. I can tell you that. Okay? So think about these things and give them the plan out there today that has the best long-term value. And that's Physicians Mutual's Innovative G, bar none. You know, you go to AM Best, the rating service, they talk about how we're pioneers, we're innovators in the Medicare supplement arena, and we are. I'm going to share one other little slide with you regarding this innovative. So that, okay, if you're not a believer yet, maybe you will be after this slide. But what Physicians Mutual did is this. Since 2008, when this plan came out, we did a study recently. Here's what we found. Of all customers who have bought the Innovative G since 2008, the average customer had $518 per year out of their pocket towards the max out of pocket of expenses. And then they averaged about $1,553 over those 3 years combined. Okay. So you think, okay, well, heck, $1,553, that's not even 1 year of max out of pocket. Here's another study we did. We looked in the first year and said, what percentage of the customers that bought this since 2008 hit the max out of pocket in the first year? And remember, that first year could be a partial year in most scenarios. 96% of the people never, ever hit the max out of pocket. Never, ever. Okay? In the second year and the third year, only 10.7% of the people hit the max out of pocket in either 2 or year 3. So I'm just going to round back up. That's 90% of our customers who bought the Innovative since 2008 never, ever hit the max out of pocket. And we said, okay, folks, because the brokers want to know, over any of these 3 years, what percentage of our customers hit the max out of pocket? Only 20% did in any of the 3 years. Only 8, look at that, 80% did not. 8 out of 10 people who bought Innovative G since 2008 never ever hit the max out of pocket. Never did. That's why you can see why people love this. Because people, and I always say this to all brokers because I am one too. Why do we always worry about the first year? Why do we always want to sell them the first year, the cheapest plan out there? Because we all have seen that the plan that's the cheapest in the beginning never, never, ever is the cheapest in the end. It's never the best long-term value. But the Innovative is the best long-term value Plan G in the marketplace today. People want to save money, but they're going to have to take on that max out of pocket in the first 3 years, right? To get that lifetime of savings. That's a huge, huge thing when it comes to the Innovative, okay? And then last but not least, I want to share with you the preventive benefits rider. Let me get out of here. Clear my drawings. And then our Preventative Benefits Plus rider. This is the one that has the Silver and Fit gym membership that I talked to in the beginning. Okay. So what happens is this. This is $9.53 a month. It's included in some of the plans. It's embedded in some of them. Like the state of Texas, I think it's embedded within the 𝗍𝗵𝗂 and the G, and there's some other states that it's embedded in the innovative. Okay. But other states, it's $9.53 a month, and it includes the Silver and Fit gym membership. So how does this work? What does this mean? This means that we will cover 100% of all preventative services not covered by Medicare. It is performed to detect health problems before there's any signs or symptoms. If you've had blood in your stool for 3 weeks prior to going to get a physical, do you think that there's a sign or symptom of something wrong? That is yes. So when you're going to get that physical, it's to diagnose, that is to diagnose what the problem is. If you never had any issues, you're healthy, you go to get a full-blown physical that Medicare doesn't pay for, then Physicians Mutual will pay for it. So really it becomes a win-win situation for the customer, okay? And for the company and for you as the agent. Why? Because if Medicare pays all the bill, that's a win, right? If Medicare pays some and then Physicians Mutual pays some, that's a win for the customer. And then if Medicare pays nothing and Physicians Mutual pays 100% on a first dollar basis, it's not, remember, these preventative benefits that we pay for, it's first dollar coverage. It's not subject to the Part B deductible, and it's not subject to the max out of pocket, okay? It's first dollar coverage. So we give you some examples in this little booklet about those preventative benefits and what sets Physicians Mutual apart. We know that Medicare covers the Welcome to Medicare preventive visit, the little 15-minute visit with the doc, and you fill out a form and you tell him how much you drink and how much you smoke, and he tells you not to do that, or we need to gain weight, we need to lose weight, whatever we do. And then we got the yearly wellness visit. It is not a physical, folks. It is not. But Medicare will pay for that. I always use one that's on page 30 of the Medicare and You book. It's the very first preventative benefit. It's the abdominal aortic aneurysm screening. Medicare will pay for that if you are a male and you are 65 to 75 and you've smoked at least 100 cigarettes in your lifetime. That's not me. I've never smoked. So Medicare would not pay for that. Okay? But if I wanted to have it done and I have the Preventative Benefits Plus rider with my Physicians Mutual policy, Physicians Mutual will pay for that 100%, even though Medicare didn't. We will cover such things as lifeline screenings, a comprehensive physical, okay, with blood work, vaccines that is not payable by Part D. I just had a customer that was going to Africa and had to have a bunch of vaccines. Physicians Mutual paid for those vaccines because Medicare didn't. And the customer is just like floored. They're like, Mike, I know. No other carrier would have done that other than Physicians Mutual. Or any other preventative screenings that are approved like that. And I'm going to scroll down real quick. We give you some examples of things that we have covered in the past. And there's even the procedure code, the DRG code, okay? So here's some breast cancer screening codes, like the thermography exam that can detect metastasization up to a year in advance, where the mammogram doesn't. Things like that, the colon cancer screening. So we see that Medicare only pays for that once every 10 years. If you've been clean and healthy and never had any polyps or anything, Medicare guys will only cover it once every 10 years. That's not good. Your doctors want it to have every 3 to 5. We would pay that at 100%. So you could see back in 2023, here was a doctor's office at the St. Elizabeth Medical Center that we paid for this customer's claim. Just some extra blood work that needed to be done on a preventative basis. And before Medicare covered the shingle shot, Physicians Mutual, people were buying Physicians Mutual's policies just for get their shingle shot covered. Now I'm going to do a little, let me do this little diagram here. So it doesn't matter in most states whether you buy the high deductible G, the innovative G, the regular G, or the F plan. The preventative benefits plus rider can be added to any of these plans. You have to add it at time of issue. You cannot add it down the road. When you write the app is when you need to include that. Now, there are some states that only allow you to add the preventative benefits plus rider to just the innovative G and the G. And there's some states that only allow you to add it to the innovative G. And like I said, there are a few states that it's already included in there. You don't have to pay the $953 extra to get that preventative benefits plus rider. Okay. So I'm going to do that. And then Jeremy, if you would like, I could answer some questions now. If somebody had some questions, then that way I could help anybody that we need to do.
Sure thing. So a couple popped up. The 4 underwriting questions.
Okay.
It was a non-guaranteed issue, right? It was no special period, just within that age range for the 4 underwriting questions, correct?
And then, yeah, so during that age, so anywhere 65 and a half to, through age 68. If you can get them before their 69th birthday, here are the questions, okay? Height and weight, we're very lenient on height and weight, okay? And then here are the questions. Within the last 2 years, have you been treated for or been told by a medical professional that you have any of the following? Chronic kidney disease, stages 3, 4, and 5. Kidney failure or dialysis. Okay, we're going to know nobody wants those people. We know that. The internal cancer in need of surveillance, or cancer that has gone into remission within the past 2 years. So if it's gone into remission 5 years ago, you're okay. Blood cancers, leukemia, lymphoma, melanoma are a non-routine medical test to rule out or confirm the presence of cancer that has not been completed. So if you're going through testing to see if you have cancer, we're not going to take you because you might end up having cancer. Of course, that's a big claim. Diabetes requiring the use of insulin or any diabetes when in combination with a heart disease, excluding high blood pressure. So if you are insulin dependent, we will not take you at any age. I can tell you that. We don't take any insulin. Arthritis that restricts mobility or daily activities, requires physical therapy, requires major joint, hip, knee, shoulder injections, or been advised to have a joint replacement, or rheumatoid arthritis, liver disease, cirrhosis, alcoholism, drug abuse, bipolar, schizophrenia, psychotic, IV, drugs administered by IV, use of oxygen to treat a medical condition, and been admitted to the hospital last 3 months. If you look closely there are some major conditions that are omitted. And just remember that most of the board of directors at Physicians Mutual are prominent doctors in the Omaha, Nebraska area where our headquarters is. So they're always meeting with the claims people, the underwriters, and seeing what things we can and can't take, stuff like that. So those are the 4 questions.
And Mike, that's not, I mean, that's carrier wide. That's not, there doesn't seem to be many variations of those knockout questions from any carrier if, you're looking to switch outside of an enrollment period. So. Cool. Another question was, with the age band pricing, does it show up on the quoting platforms as that?
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Okay.
It should.
Cool.
Yeah. And really what's happening here, Jeremy, and for everyone is this, when we basically we're just turning back the clock to age 65. So it really makes us really competitive in this age group too. And we do not, once they get to be 69, we do not catch it up or anything. We don't mess around with them or play games with the customers. Everybody's just included in that group. They're all bunched together and they just do their normal increases. We do not jump them up or catch up or anything like that. We don't do that.
Perfect. So that was it on the questions. I just wanted to throw out there something to keep an eye on as far as what our agents are our producers are going to run across and see, and some good opportunities. A big one is going to be individuals who have an HSA.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if you have an HSA and you're 65, and that's usually obviously the trigger, so you're retiring, HSA is pretty well funded. It's not like they got 20 bucks in there and they
No.
can only buy Band-Aids with it. That's well funded. So not only can it cover premiums, but that's their rainy day fund should they hit that MOOP.
Yeah. And another thing, Jeremy, too, and everybody is, you probably see people that take care of themselves, people that have HSA dollars, people that don't. They might be middle to whatever, that they don't see 2870s max out of pocket. I got a statistic from one of my friends that's big in the group business. He said, Mike, 75% of all people in America on group insurance have a high deductible health plan at work. That means if they have a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 deductible, Mike, they're paying that deductible up front before they get any help. And he told me that about 50% of all those people have HSA dollars. Okay. So I've never really understood is why people why are we putting people in Plan G that have a bunch of HSA dollars? So
Right.
That's where Physicians Mutual really comes in to offer you this portfolio that's probably a bigger portfolio than any other carrier out there from a Medicare supplement standpoint. So, I always tell people is this: present that Physicians Mutual portfolio and let the customer choose what plan they want. Okay. Because what we see is I've seen it as I've run offices throughout the country in the past over my 32 years here at Physicians Mutual. I've had where our office sold 50% Innovative G. I mean, because people love it. And then now down the road, they come and they're like, Mike, I have a lady in Scottsdale, Arizona. She's like in her upper 70s and she's paying like $195 for her G. And all of her friends are $320 and $350. And every time I go over there for the Part D review, she brings her friends and all her friends want to buy Physicians Mutual. They want the same plan. Her name is Pat. They all want the same plan as Pat, but then none of them are healthy. I can't, underwrite them. But she bought the Innovative G in the beginning, took on that max out of pocket, and now she's taking advantage of it the rest of her life. So that's where, Jeremy, that Physicians Mutual really comes in about that long-term value. And it's about a 25 to 40% savings the rest of their life on that Plan G compared to the other carriers.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost the way you've structured it. I mean, that really is, it's really preventative against these big rate increases that we're seeing. I mean, I don't know in what scenario other than like Armageddon that you guys
we didn't know that, but yeah, because you think about it too, is that also too, with the high deductible, the Innovative, the G and the F, we lump them all together. So the more high deductible and the Innovative we sell, the lower the rate increases on that total block, the more stability that it will be. And also too, the customer really benefits from this, because, like you said, the HSA dollars they can use to any type of service or over-the-counter drugs or anything that they need. Also too, they can pay Part B premiums, not Med Sup premiums, but Part B premiums with that HSA dollars.
Yep.
They can do that. They don't have to use their Social Security or their checkbook, I guess.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I think we're wrapped up on those
Jeremy, there's
questions.
3 questions in the
Are there?
the Q&A.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, I had the wrong box open. Is there a discount if they add on dental or other products?
What happens is if you add the dental plan, okay, if you add dental to if you have a Medicare supplement and you add the dental, you will get 5% off of the dental premium. Okay, you'll get 5% off of the dental premium. And the one thing with our dental is, I would just tell everybody, It has no caps. There's nobody else out there that does that. It's unlimited, no caps. We have no deductibles. We have over 600,000 plus participating dentists because we use the Emeritus PPO network. And you can see our high-end plan is very competitive, and we pay 70%. Most of the other carriers, when it comes to major, only pay 50. We pay 70. So take a look at our dental plan. It is a top-notch dental plan that's very hard to compete with, especially when you have the Emeritus PPO network, one of the largest in the country. All dentists have heard of Emeritus. They've at least heard of them. And then we pay the 70 with no deductible and no caps.
Yeah, awesome. Mike, you'll be able to send me the slides from today, correct?
Sure. Just if you do me a favor, just email me at mike.story, just like the book, at physiciansmutual.com.
Yep.
And I will then send you everything that I have shared. Yeah.
Cool.
And if anybody wants that, they're more than welcome to email me at mike.story too, or call me. My phone number is 402-669-1924. That's a Nebraska number. Call me anytime. I will help. Jeremy, I'll help anybody that needs help.
For sure. For sure. Awesome. Let's see. Question was, anyone 70 and over who have been on Medicare already would be underwritten and then could still get the Innovative G, correct?
Yes, yes. Yeah, the Innovative G, you can sell it at any age. Yeah, you can sell it at any age.
Mike, thanks. It's awesome. As I said, it's such good news from what I've been having to deliver lately. So really, really appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. And I got my info here too. So if somebody's watching the recording, they're more than welcome to call me at any time, email me, text me. I'll help you any way I can.
So again, thanks everybody for reaching out or attending today. Really excited about this opportunity. Somebody did actually catch the fact that when we sent this out, there was the note in small print about states that this is currently available in, and Michigan was not one of them. And I know Mike and Andrew aren't allowed to compliantly say or share too much about that, but I can. So let's just say that the insurance gods are smiling upon the area shaped like a mitten, and we should be able to represent Physicians Mutual and the Medicare supplements in the future here. So it is on the docket from IAD standpoint. And again, I don't want these guys to get in trouble, so I'll fall on the sword. But the insurance gods, they're going to shine a little light on us, and we'll be rocking and rolling with this product line. So any questions, any follow-ups, anything as far as what we went over today, any contracting, any product support, please reach out today by end of business. We are in a holiday, pre-holiday week. And so we got a short week to begin with. And I know everybody's just trying to jam everything in as we are here. And I'm sure Mike is as well. So please reach out today so we can get the ball rolling before the holiday comes and we all just think about burgers and beers. So
thank you for having me.
Thanks again,
really
Mike / Andrew. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks for your insight on everything. And thanks to all who attended. Hope to hear from you today. Again, anything, please reach out to either of us. We'd be more than happy to assist. Have a good holiday weekend and have a successful week.
Thank you.